Imagine waking up one morning to a world on the brink of a nuclear standoff. The headlines are blaring, the news anchors are in a frenzy, and people everywhere are filled with a sense of dread. This isn't a scene from a Hollywood blockbuster, but a hypothetical scenario that could, in theory, become a reality overnight. In this world of geopolitical chess, nuclear threats are the queens on the board, powerful, unpredictable, and potentially devastating. And while we all hope that these threats remain just that, threats, it's crucial to be aware of the potential dangers. This is not to instill fear, but to foster understanding and preparedness. So, why would a nuclear strike target certain U.S. cities over others? The answer lies in their strategic importance. Whether it's the economic influence of a bustling city, the presence of a military base, or the location of vital infrastructure, these factors can make some cities more attractive targets than others. Now let's be clear, we're not here to spread panic or sensationalize a hypothetical scenario. Instead, our goal is to shed light on the reality of the situation, to help you understand the world we live in a little bit better. This knowledge, while unsettling, can be empowering. It can help us move from a state of complacency to a state of preparedness. Consider this video as a roadmap, a guide to navigating the potential fallout of a nuclear standoff. We'll walk you through the cities that could be the first to face the brunt of a nuclear strike and discuss why they might be on the hit list. Let's not shy away from these uncomfortable truths. Let's face them head on, with eyes wide open. Because the first step towards preparedness is awareness. With this grim reality in mind, let's delve deeper into the potential targets. To comprehend the severity of today's threats, we need to take a step back and examine the evolution of nuclear strategies. Our story begins in the throes of the Cold War, an era marked by a chilling arms race between the United States and Soviet Union. The strategy then was mutual assured destruction, or MAD. This doctrine held that each superpower had enough nuclear firepower to completely annihilate the other. The result? A stalemate where neither side dared to launch a first strike for fear of total obliteration. As we moved into the late 20th century, the dissolution of the Soviet Union ushered in a new era of nuclear strategy. The United States shifted its focus to a policy of deterrence, honing its nuclear arsenal to discourage other nations from engaging in aggression or escalation. Fast forward to the present day, and the landscape of nuclear strategies has evolved yet again. The rise of new global powers, advancements in technology, and the proliferation of nuclear weapons have all contributed to a complex, ever-shifting set of strategies. These changes mean that potential targets are no longer limited to major metropolises or military bases. Today, strategic locations like ports, oil refineries, and even centers of technological innovation could be in the crosshairs. Why? Because these sites are critical to the nation's infrastructure and economy. The evolution of nuclear strategies also underscores the need for continuous adaptation and preparedness. As strategies change, so too does the list of potential targets. This means that the unthinkable could happen anywhere, at any time. The takeaway? In the face of evolving threats, understanding the past and present of nuclear strategies is crucial. It empowers us to anticipate potential dangers and take steps to protect ourselves and our communities. Now that we understand the basics, let's explore the U.S. cities at highest risk. The East Coast, with its high-density cities and strategic locations, would likely be primary targets. Now let's delve into the East Coast. This region is home to some of the most densely populated cities in the U.S., making it a potential hotspot for nuclear strike. The East Coast is not just a densely populated region, but also a hub of economic, political, and military activity. Take New York City, for instance. As one of the most populous cities in the world, New York City's high population density makes it a potential target. But it's not just about the numbers. The city is also a significant economic hub, home to Wall Street and numerous multinational corporations. In the unfortunate event of a nuclear strike, the impact on the global economy would be catastrophic. Moving further south, we have cities like Savannah, Georgia, and New Orleans. These cities, though not as densely populated as New York, hold strategic importance due to their ports. Savannah has one of the largest shipping ports in the U.S., while New Orleans is a crucial gateway for trade via the Mississippi River. A strike on these cities would disrupt trade routes, causing significant economic damage. But the East Coast isn't just about big cities and ports. It's also home to several military bases, like the Naval Station Norfolk in Virginia, the largest naval complex in the world. A strike here could cripple the U.S. Navy's Atlantic Fleet, leaving the country vulnerable. In a nuclear conflict, the East Coast's dense population, economic significance, and strategic military locations make it a prime target. But remember, nuclear strategy isn't just about causing the most immediate damage. It's also about long-term impact, striking at the heart of a nation's economy, its military, and its people. The East Coast is just the beginning. There are other regions that might also be in the crosshairs. As we continue our exploration, remember, knowledge is power. Understanding potential targets and the reasons behind them can help us better prepare for any possible future. Moving south, cities like Savannah, Georgia, and New Orleans could also be in the line of fire. Let's take a closer look at why these two cities, in particular, might be in danger. Savannah, Georgia, for example, is home to one of the largest ports in the United States. This port is not only a vital part of the country's economy, but it's also a strategic location for the military. It's where we import and export goods, and where our Navy has a significant presence. A strike here wouldn't just be a blow to the economy, but it would also be a tactical hit, crippling our military capabilities. Similarly, New Orleans is another city whose port plays a vital role in the country's economy. It's where the mighty Mississippi River meets the Gulf of Mexico, making it a critical junction for trade and transportation. In addition, the city is home to several military installations and defense contractors, which could make it an attractive target in the event of a nuclear strike. These southern cities aren't just potential targets because of their ports, though. They also have a high concentration of military bases. And as we've discussed before, military bases are often considered high-value targets during wartime. Savannah is home to the Hunter Army Airfield and Fort Stewart, one of the largest Army installations in the eastern United States. New Orleans, on the other hand, houses the Naval Air Station Joint Reserve Base and the Marine Forces Reserve, among others. Now, we're not saying that these cities will definitely be targets, but understanding the strategic importance of these locations gives us a sense of why they might be at risk. It's a sobering thought, but one that we need to consider in these uncertain times. So, if you find yourself living in or near these cities, it's crucial to have a plan in place. Being prepared isn't about living in fear, it's about being ready for whatever comes our way. As we've seen, the potential targets are widespread, covering both the East Coast and the South. While this scenario is hypothetical, it underscores the need for preparedness and understanding. So, let's take a step back and review what we've discovered. We've seen how nuclear strategies have evolved over time, becoming more sophisticated and targeted. We've explored the East Coast, where cities like Savannah, New York City, and New Orleans could be potential targets due to their strategic importance. We've also looked south, where key cities could be under threat. Remember, these are not just random choices, they are locations that hold significant strategic or symbolic value, making them potential targets in a nuclear scenario. But this video isn't about scaring you. It's about understanding the world we live in and the potential threats it harbors. It's about being prepared, not panicked. After all, fear thrives on ignorance, and knowledge is the best antidote. So what does preparedness look like in a nuclear scenario? It's about understanding the risks, making plans, and having supplies on hand. It's about being aware of your surroundings and knowing the nearest safe locations. It's about staying informed and keeping an eye on world events. And most importantly, it's about realizing that the world is not a predictable place. Things can change in an instant, and being prepared is not an overreaction, but a sensible response to an unpredictable world. This video is just a start. We encourage you to continue learning, to dig deeper into the subject, and to always stay informed. Knowledge is not just power, it's also a survival tool in a world where threats can come from unexpected places. So let's wrap this up. We've talked about potential targets, the evolution of nuclear strategies, and the importance of preparedness, and we've stressed that this is not about fear, but about understanding and preparedness. Remember, knowledge is power, and in a world where nuclear threats are a reality, being informed could make all the difference.